having a fabulous autumn day. It is beautiful weather here. Unfortunately, I've been in front of my laptop all day with a cup of coffee, trying to catch up on emails and all those things that need to be taken care of, but I finished. So I'm going to do something fun, and for me that is baking, and I'm going to bake a cobbler, a fruit cobbler, and I believe about 2 or maybe 3 years ago, if you've been with me that long, I made this cobbler, and I made a blackberry cobbler. Well, this is going to be an apple cobbler, because that is perfect for this autumn weather, and especially with the holidays coming up and you need something quick and easy to make for guests. I use this recipe for breakfast as well as for an after dinner dessert, because you can substitute any fruit you would like in this dessert. In the past, I've made it with blackberries, and there's a video I made years ago of this dessert, and I used blackberries. So if you've been with me that long, you'll remember this dessert, but today we're going to make it using apples, and I'm using Granny Smith apples, and we're going to cook those in a moment. Also, you'll need just pure cane sugar, and you'll need self-rising flour and 1 stick of butter, which I've already placed in this 8x8 2-quart casserole dish. Now preheat your oven at 400 degrees, and we're going to pop this in the oven and melt the butter. That's the first step. We have our butter melting in the oven, and while that's happening, we're going to rough chop apples. Now, I'm using Granny Smith apples. You can use any apple you prefer. I'm using 2 apples. You could use 3. It does not matter. I'm going to chop these because I'm going to cook them on the stove, and the reason for that is that I'm going to cook them before I put them into the batter for the cobbler. And the apples will not be done if I don't cook them ahead of time. The recipe only requires this cobbler to be baked for 30 minutes. That's not long enough for these apples to be done. However, if you decide to make this cobbler using soft peaches or blueberries or blackberries or strawberries, any soft fruit, you can completely eliminate this step.
Hear the birds and see the sun. Side by side our fears are done. Oh, the good times just begun. Oh, we know what we have, let's hold on tight. Found what we're looking for in life. Call us crazy, but things are finally right. With you and I, the future is bright. We don't need no more. Even in the hard times, you and I can weather any storm. Before I sleep, hear the crickets, see the moon. Side by side and through and through. No limit to what we can do. Oh, we know what we have, let's hold on tight. Found what we're looking for in life. Call us crazy, but things are finally right. With you and I, the future is bright.
Now we have our skillet. We're going to take the skillet, add a bit of water in the bottom, and then we're going to add the apples. As I have chopped these pieces very, very small. That way you'll have more bite-sized pieces. You probably could just slice the apples and put into the cobbler, but I'm going to do it this way this time. Next time I might slice. And I'm going to experiment just a bit and put cinnamon, nutmeg. I think I have some apple pie spice, and we're going to add a little bit more flavor to it than we did when we made it blackberry cobbler. This is going to taste much more autumn-like. The apples are just about ready, so let's make our batter. We are going to use 1 cup of flour. This is self-rising flour. We're going to use 1 cup of sugar. Just plain old-fashioned granulated sugar. There we go. 1 cup of granulated sugar. And something I forgot to mention at the beginning is whole milk. So we'll need 1 cup of whole milk. And I'll put the recipe in the information box below so you'll have all the ingredients just as you need them. So 1 cup. And then stir. This can't be any more simple. You know, sometimes the simplest recipes are the best. You want to stir all the way to the bottom and get all of the flour and sugar mixed in. Now, it's going to be a bit lumpy. It won't be smooth batter. Now, I'm going to move everything out of the way, and we're going to put our cobbler together to put in the oven. Okay, we have our melted butter, a full stick of melted butter, and we are going to add our batter. Now remember, I said it's a lumpy batter. It's not going to be one of those pretty lattice looking apple pies. This is a apple cobbler that is just, it's very, very farmhouse like. Now don't be tempted to stir the batter into the butter. You just want to let the butter rise to the top. And we're going to put the batter into the casserole dish just like this. Okay, now I'm going to add the apples. We have our apples ready to go into the batter. Now let's add the apples, and don't be tempted to stir the apples either. You don't want to stir any of this. You want it to just rise on its own. It's so yummy. Sprinkle just a bit more apple pie spice on top, just to make it extra, extra yummy. Don't want too much, but just a bit. Now it's in the oven for 30 minutes at 400 degrees. Okay, I set it for 30 minutes, and I placed that cobbler on the center rack of the oven. And there we have it, 30 minutes later. But can we just talk about how incredible your house will smell when you bake this cobbler? If anything smells like autumn, it's this. It is fantastic. But I have to confess, this is not the first cobbler. This is not the cobbler that originally went in the oven. I had to remake it. This is the second cobbler because I accidentally used all-purpose flour, and I did not use the self-rising flour. And I'm going to put a picture right here showing you how the first one turned out. And I knew as soon as I put the batter in the hot pan and it didn't start rising that something wasn't quite right. So about 10 minutes into the baking process, I figured it out. And I allowed it to continue baking, and my husband said it was delicious. So I made a second one, and this is the one that turned out perfect. You can see that it has risen much higher than the other, and let's see if it tastes good. I'm sure it does. The first one was good. This has got to be better. So we are going to get a nice plate of this cobbler, and you know what would be even better than the cobbler is it be the cobbler and maybe some French vanilla ice cream. Oh my, I don't think I have any. I know I don't have any, but that would be fantastic. And I hope you try this because this recipe is a lifesaver when it comes to entertaining. You can put together any dessert with any fruit. And we're going to try it with the apples. Very good. And I'm glad I put that tiny bit of brown sugar in the apples. You can taste that. Oh, it's just a hint of brown sugar. And like I said, I'll put the recipe in the information box below. But this is autumn in a plate. It is so good. I hope you enjoyed this recipe, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you soon. Bye.